Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Womack. I'm head of organizing for Red, Wine, and Blue. I am so happy to have you here to learn all about Rally Your Squad. We need everybody to be involved because these upcoming elections in November are so important. Reproductive freedom is on the ballot everywhere. Now, in Ohio, we have a constitutional amendment, but Virginia, control of your state legislature is on the line and obviously impacts reproductive freedom. Pennsylvania, Supreme Court justice. The courts are the last line of defense for democracy and obviously also for reproductive freedom. So who wins these seats is so important. School boards, local races, all of these impact your kids and your family on a daily basis. Do you have a welcoming and inclusive community? Do you have wonderful policies being passed? Or are you seeing extremists elected who are causing chaos? So these elections are so important. And that is why we need everybody involved, using your voices and reaching out to your friends. So let's jump in and show you what you're going to do and why it is so important. You can definitely make a difference in these local elections. Local and state races are won by just a handful of votes oftentimes. So what do I mean by that? That means for every friend or family member you turn out to vote, you could actually be the difference maker. A lot of people are not even aware that these races are happening, and many do not know who are the candidates or what they stand for. And oftentimes that leads to people just not voting at all. You can be the one to change that by talking to your friends and family, by telling them about candidates and issues, and making sure that they have a plan to vote. You could actually be the one who could flip an entire election. You will also reach voters who might otherwise have just stayed home. And I'm going to give you a little example of this. In Clark County, Ohio, back in August, we had to vote in the state of Ohio on a very important issue, and we needed everybody to vote no to help protect reproductive freedom in the state. Clark County voted no by just one vote. So what does that mean? Maybe there was a red, wine, and blue woman who nudged a couple of her friends to turn out to vote who otherwise weren't planning to go to the polls. She flipped that entire county. And this is not uncommon, especially when you're talking local and state races. So you can actually make a tremendous difference here. How are we going to do this? It's called friend-to-friend organizing. The fancy name is relational organizing, but it's really just the simple concept that friends talking to friends is way more effective than strangers talking to strangers. And this makes perfect sense, right? Your friends trust you and they listen to you. That is much more impactful than a stranger knocking on their door to have a conversation with them. Plus, they will actually read your text or take your phone call. They may not answer the door for that stranger who is trying to talk to them about elections. Data also backs us up on this. Relational organizing has been shown to be the most effective way to persuade and get people to the polls. And I'm going to brag on Red, Wine, and Blue members because we also have data to back up what you all did last election cycle. And I'm going to give you a little context. So presidential elections will pay millions and millions of dollars just to move voter turnout by 1%. And you might think 1%, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. Actually, 1% can change the entire course of an election. We should be really excited if our campaigns can show a 1% impact, a 2% impact. Let me show you what you did. Last election cycle, Red, Wine, and Blue members actually increased voter turnout by the people that we talked to by 9.6%. Huge. And for those of you who think all of your like-minded friends always turn out to vote, they don't. As you can see, our volunteers themselves turned out at a higher rate, 13.8%. So that means people who were actively working on elections, we still saw an impact in their turnout rates. And then you guys, we are really good at cutting through partisan lines. We reached 28%, over 28% actually, of the people that we reached were Republicans and unaffiliated voters. And let me tell you something, there are a lot of campaigns and parties that will not knock on these doors. These are people who would not otherwise ever have been reached. You can do that and you can make a huge difference, over 28%. Let's talk about who we're trying to reach. Like-minded friends, absolutely. Like I said, they may vote, they may feel like we do, but they don't always know who the candidates are, and so they're not really sure who to vote for. Our moderate and non-political friends, most definitely. They may not be aware of these elections. They may not be very motivated to vote. So you need to have conversations with them to be sure that they do get a plan to vote and that they know who the candidates are that share their values. Right-wing believers, we're not wasting our time. That is not where our energy needs to go. So we are not even going to begin to worry about talking to those individuals. Are you ready to exercise your relational organizing muscles? I am sure you are. So the first thing you can do right now is either text Rally to 59868 or scan this QR code. This is going to take you to our online hub rally where we do all the magic. All the magic happens. It's where we come together to do this work. By being part of this campaign, you're going to be super effective. Not only will you get your friends and family out to vote, but you're going to also let us know which voters you are reaching. So elections are ultimately a math game. We know how many voters we need to reach and we know where they are, but we can't do it without your help. And we also need to be able to track to make sure that the math is adding up. That is why we use Rally. This is where you get the information that you're going to share out with your friends. And it's also where you report back which voters you are reaching. It's just like when you knock doors for a candidate, right? You get that walk list, you know which doors you're going to hit, and then you report back who you talked to and who you didn't. And it's the exact same concept of what we are doing. But I call it couch canvassing because you can do it from the comfort of your couch just by using your phone and your own contact list. So let's get going. You have texted Rally to 59868, or maybe you have used the QR code. That is great. What you should be is that you should now be on the Rally Your Squad landing page. You are going to click the state where you live or where you have the most friends. And then that is going to take you to the campaign landing page. You click join, and then you either sign up if you've never been on Rally before, or you sign in, and you will get a magic link to your email address that you enter. You do not have to create a password, which makes it super convenient. If you happen to use Yahoo or AOL, those accounts can sometimes be slow to send that magic link. So I might have to wait for a little bit to get that. So if you have another account, use that instead. But if not, go ahead and use that. And then the very first thing you're going to be asked to do is to set up a profile. Just like you do for every online account, just information about you. And then, I love this, you're going to be able to match yourself to the voter file. So you will see everybody in the voter file who matches your information. You're going to click the one that is you. If you don't see yourself, then you can just click none of these. And I highly recommend you go check your voter registration status. The next step, you're going to start adding people to your network. Who are the voters that you are going to reach? Who are you going to take responsibility for? So on the tasks tab, you're going to see build your network. You're going to click add contacts. If you already have somebody in mind or a list of people in mind that you want to reach out to, that is great. Then just click add contact and you can enter them directly. If you want some help brainstorming, like who should I add? Click brainstorm and you're going to get a bunch of categories to think through. You're going to make a list of all those people and then you'll be able to click next and you'll be able to go in and start adding them. Your whole list will appear there and then you're going to add those people into Rally. I want you to understand we are not asking for phone numbers. We are not asking for emails. We are not contacting your friends. That defeats the whole point of relational organizing. But we do need to match them to the voter file so we know which voters are being reached. You're going to enter their legal name, you're going to enter their city and their age range, and that is it. And then you will be able to match those people to the voter file just like you did for yourself. And you're going to answer a key question about them. Are they someone who is like, should be a volunteer because they are ready to go? Or is this somebody we need to persuade a little bit? And the reason we ask you to do that is because we are going to give actions to you based on their ranking. So we're going to reach out to somebody differently who is a ready to go volunteer versus someone who's ready to be persuaded. And then once you've done all that, once you've entered your contacts and you're going to get going with outreach and talking to your friends, we would love and ask that you enter at least 12 people. More is better. The more voters we're reaching, the bigger the impact. Under the tasks tab, you will see either missions or Rally Your Squad. Click that and then go in and click your friend's name that you want to start reaching out to. There will be actions in there, links to things like early voting hours, information about candidates, information about issues. It will all have really handy information for you to share and start those conversations. And then you're just going to report back you've reached out to. I'm going to share with you just a couple of the other fun resources. And if you haven't yet done it, you can scan this QR code or text Rally to 59868 to get going. Number one, we have voter file information. You'll be able to see if your friend is a consistent voter, because if they're not, that means that's somebody you definitely need to reach out to. We will give you those easy actions and things that you can share. We will give targeted information on some specific races. And then the other thing that I love is that once your friend has actually voted, we will suppress their name from any type of voting action. So you won't be reaching out to people who have already voted. So we're going to help you be really effective. Thank you so much for listening to this training. If you have friends who want to get involved, we would love to talk to them about this program. You can contact one of our organizers, or you can email us at volunteer@redwine.blue, and we will find a way to get together with you and your friends, whether it's at your home or at a Panera, to get as many people involved. Thank you for getting into Rally. We need your help. We know we have a short time to win these elections, but we can do it together. But it's going to take all of us. Start brainstorming, start adding those friends, and we cannot wait to celebrate with you on the other side.